Thank you. So, Lindsey Hanlon was born and raised in Wyoming. After getting her MA in English from Boston College, she went through many career changes before settling into her current field as a technical writer. She strives to build a stronger community where everyone can better care for one another and to provide resources that allow everyone in her community full participation in our society and our democracy.
Hello, everyone. My project is called A Cup of Sugar Social. And because in my downtime, I write melodramas that always have 3 titles, it is also titled Seeking Friends for the Zombie Apocalypse and How to Take a House Party and Turn It into Homework. So, what is A Cup of Sugar Social? It is equal parts community building and mutual aid with just a dash of, oh my God, what are we doing? What is going on? Everything is scary right now. I chose this project because I've been active in either politics or activism for almost 20 years now. And the thing that I have seen time and again is that all efforts fail when there are not enough people doing things together. And for basically the past 40 years, there have not been enough people doing things together. The scholar Robert D. Putnam found in his work Bowling Alone that in the late 20th and early 21st century, there has been a marked decrease in everything that we do together. He found significant decreases in civic engagement, organizational involvement, church membership and attendance, union membership, philanthropic generosity, social trust, and political participation. So somewhat miraculously, amongst all of America's social ills, I personally have found a strong social circle of people who I can rely on and who will be there for me during the zombie apocalypse. I'm actually being kind of serious about the zombie apocalypse thing. Because knowing who is on your zombie apocalypse team is fundamental, in my opinion, to the roots of mutual aid. Because it's about knowing who you can count on when institutions fail and who you're willing to face a horde of zombies with, knowing that they're going to have your back. Mutual aid is distinct from capitalism, in which goods and services are exchanged in precise amounts for either monetary or material return. And as Rebecca Solnit points out, it is also distinct from charity, in which there is a distinct recipient and a distinct giver, and their roles are never reciprocal. And though he doesn't use my term, I think that the scholar Dean Spade was thinking about the zombie apocalypse when he said that mutual aid is collective coordination to meet each other's needs, usually from an awareness that the systems we have in place are not going to meet them. And while we might not be in a zombie apocalypse right now, things are feeling a little apocalypsy. But because this is not the first time that we have been in trouble, this is also not the first time that we have been working with mutual aid. Some form of mutual aid has been part of human culture for basically as long as there has been human culture, and even non-human culture. Sociability and cooperation are a common feature in many animal relationships as well. In some of the recent iterations, you can see mutual aid happening in things like the Black Panther Party's Oakland Breakfast Program, in which they provided food and education to Black children. It also presents in fraternal voluntary organizations like the Order of Oddfellows, the Elks, things like that. During COVID, we saw it with mask-making collectives and grocery drops, and we see it a ton during natural disasters. We actually saw it pretty recently with the Wyoming fires. So people would bring their trailers to help animals. People would give their homes to evacuees. There was a lot of very good mutual aid going on. So there are a few characteristics that I find common to mutual aid and that I focused on for my project. Sharing resources of skill, time, and material with few to no conditions, prioritizing cooperation and sociability, an emphasis on egalitarian participatory action, and reduced individualism, overconsumption, and isolation. So what does my mutual aid group look like? It is basically a monthly house party, but with homework. I decided on roughly 50 people that I thought would be a good fit for my project. I purposely chose people from different facets of my life who might know me, but not each other. My friends from college don't really know my trivia friends, and vice versa. They had to know and love me well enough that they would put up with my stuff, which is a very important aspect of this project. And they had to be deeply caring, and they had to have a diverse set of skills and needs. It doesn't really help to form a yard tool library if everyone has a leaf blower. So I made a Google form that asked people for their contact info, any preferences on how they got contacted, and what resources of skill, time, and material they were willing to share. And those terms, I think, deserve a little bit more explanation. Resources of skill and knowledge are things that you are willing to do, share, utilize, or even teach to another person based on your own experiences and expertise. So my friends who have sewing skills might mend a shirt for someone else. My friends who like to meal plan might teach one of my other friends how to meal plan. Resources of time and activities. Resources of time are activities where the primary resource being utilized is a person's time, regardless of anything else that is involved. So this is things like babysitting or giving rides to the airport. Your primary resource is your time. Resources of material are the financial or physical resources that you would be willing to share, either via a direct gift or a temporary loan. So this can mean loaning out power tools or giving away books, also small loans of money, or even just gifts of money. So the contact information and resources offered by the attendees went into a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet is viewable and editable by any of the group members. That way, everyone can see what is on offer and how to connect with the person offering it, and members can edit their own information if their circumstances change. So this is from the spreadsheet. It is the section where we are talking about the skills that we can share. That one on the bottom is me, which you can tell because I wrote way too much. In addition to the spreadsheet itself, I host actual Cup of Sugar socials, gatherings that take place mostly at my house, but that I've also started to hold elsewhere. And if Wyoming ever decides that it is in fact spring, we're hopefully going to start having them outside and things like that. They are emphatically kid-friendly because way too often we don't consider kids part of our communities. And we also don't take pains to make sure that parents are still included in our social circles. And I've also started to try to incorporate things like board games or crafting so that people don't get bored of me. We have had 3 parties so far, and out of the 48 people that agreed to take part in the general project, we have been averaging about 15 adult attendees and 3 kid attendees at each party. Interestingly, there is actually not a whole lot of crossover at these parties because I am holding them on different days and times. So because some people can come to a brunch one, but not an afternoon one. Some people can come to an afternoon one, but not an evening one, etc. So different groups of people have been at each party. I make everyone wear name tags, and I also usually have a fun question or other thing to have us talk about. At our second party, 3 of us had Pink Pony Club stuck in our heads. So now we're putting together a playlist. Excuse me. And at the bottom, I also try to have things that people can take home, little signs of affection. These are my cups of sugar that I passed out at my first party, knowing that my friends would not be very happy if I just gave them jars of sugar that could spill in their cars. I filled it with candy, little sugar packets, drink mix, and a quote about mutual aid from one of my favorite authors. I have leftovers, and they are conveniently in that basket back there. Please take them. They've been sitting in my basement for a while. I had a few main goals that I wanted this project to meet and that I believe are in the process of being fulfilled. I wanted to turn my friends into a community with each other and not just with me. I wanted to make the lives of my friends better and easier by giving them a caring environment and access to resources. And I wanted to make it more possible for the people I care about to participate in civic and political life and to get them more used to thinking collectively. As a nation, we suffer from toxic individualism, where we are supposed to be able to handle everything on our own. And that is A, impossible, and B, it exhausts us to the point where we are less willing to do the things in the wider community that improve our social and democratic life, like engage with community issues or take part in politics. I asked some of my attendees about their thoughts on the Cup of Sugar socials, and I'm highlighting a couple of the replies now. In general, the reaction I've gotten is that people like the events a lot, and they love offering help, and they are slowly starting to ask for help. The asking for help part has actually been the hardest. I think that is, again, a characteristic of us as people. It is much easier for me to offer help than to ask for it. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. But this isn't just about my Cup of Sugar social, it's about yours, or what could be yours. The best part of this project is that it is endlessly replicable by others. All you need is some people and a spreadsheet. And if you want to have your own Cup of Sugar social, these are the steps I suggest. 1, think about your own existing community. Who is on your zombie apocalypse team? Who could be on your zombie apocalypse team if you cast your net a little bit further? If you think, I don't have a community that can do this, I almost certainly promise you that you do. Many people are willing to ask and offer help once you put that idea out there. And if you're an introvert, just find one of your loud friends and have them be the spokesperson for it. 2, think about what resources you would offer. This was a really crucial step in my project. People kind of get a deer in the headlights look when you start asking them about their resources, especially any resources that are not just money. Everyone has resources. Even things like being willing to sit down with someone when they're sad is a resource of time that you are willing to share with someone else. But it was very helpful in my project when I modeled what I would put in the spreadsheet. So once I kind of showed what I was considering as resources, everyone else kind of cottoned on and stopped being so panicked. 3, think about the resources that you need and would ask for if you could. If you had the collective resources of your community, what problems do you have that could be addressed? 4, figure out what kind of gathering and what kind of model work best for your group. Maybe in your world, you don't have enough space in your home, so it's easier to meet at a coffee shop, and it's easier to meet with only a few people at a time. The important thing is that you meet. 5, focus on what is sustainable and fun. This needs to be as much about joy as it is about responsibility. What will allow you to keep this going? Community isn't just something that you build once and call done. Community is a project that you're continually engaging in. Strengthening the bonds between people with fun things like the parties ensures strong reciprocal relationships and use of the spreadsheet. Again, using the spreadsheet, very important. 6, keep learning. There are still a lot of open-ended questions in my own project. One question is, should I continue being the leader of this? Or do I need to start asking other people to take on leadership roles to make it all more egalitarian? Should we open the circle? Should we be adding more people to our group? Or is part of what has made this work the people that I have chosen already? Remember that this is a work in progress for all of us. My Cup of Sugar Social is always changing and adapting, and yours should too. Thank you all very much. I hope that you all go out there and find your zombie apocalypse teams and then ask them all for help.